And therefore, so now we can understand that the whole point of the dreams is to save them. That's the whole thing. That's what he's going to tell them in the end, in the next parsha. Okay.
If Dina and Yosef was switched, then Zvulun and Yosef would be like 9 months difference, not just.
What do you mean? I mean, with Dina.
Yeah, then Zvulun should be more than 3 months old. It should be like 9 or 10 months
old.
No,
you mean because she's has to be at least 10 months old younger than Zvulun. Right? And 10 in Zvulun. Okay, so she was 1 month later, maybe. Or 1 month, but at least 3 4 months maximum. You don't need more than that. One was 7 months more than 9 months. Huh?
Yeah, I was saying Zvulun and Dina, a full sibling, would be like more like 9 months, 8 months to Yosef.
Why would it have to be that much? Don't forget.
Zvulun and Dina.
The problem is you got to get them all into 7 years. You got to get 11 kids, 12 kids if you count Dina, in 7 years. Because what he called, as soon as Yosef is born, they're ready to leave. He didn't marry them until 7 years later, and until at the end of 14 years. So the 7 years, he had 11 kids that were born. And so the 12 kids that were born. Okay. Okay. So now, what did Yosef want?
You married in 7 years, everything is 11. That's 13 more years.
I didn't hear.
But all of the kids, not so.
I didn't hear what he said.
He didn't leave love till 13 years, but the kids were all born in the first 7 of them, right?
Huh?
He's married 13 years before he leaves love.
He's married 14 years, right.
13 before he leaves love.
Okay, yeah. Right.
But all the kids were born in the first 7.
Right.
Yeah. At the end of 7 years.
At the end of 7 years. He first started at 7 years. Okay.
Yosef looked like exactly like Ya'akov did when Ya'akov was 30. So why didn't anybody tell the brothers this guy looks exactly like his father?
Yosef looked like his father, so they didn't know what their father looked like.
They looked like you.
Yosef looked like Yaakov.
When he was 30, exactly the same. Why didn't anybody tell him?
Whatever.
Like what your father
Okay.
looked like.
I know.
Yaakov never wore a power crown.
I think Yaakov only met at 100.
Yeah.
He never saw him with a black beard.
I have no idea.
Yeah, I'm saying
No,
maybe.
when Yaakov was 30, when Yosef was 30.
I don't know. I don't know. No, but it is true, you should know. Sometimes you don't recognize it. I was living already here. We said, oh, well, nothing. This house, I was still by the Kale Elders. a cousin of mine sends me a picture from Tells, right? And I'm looking at it and I'm saying to myself, why is Mordechai wearing a bow tie? You know, no one wears bow ties now. I mean, but in Tells, they still start with bow ties. I didn't realize it was a picture of me. I thought it was a picture of my grandson. And he looked like that's how much he looked like me, right? So you can't even tell it. So I'm just saying. So you never know. Okay. Yeah, so what was Yosef's plan here? So we can learn two things, really. One is maybe he just wanted to get them to see Binyamin, or he wanted them to leave Binyamin. Well, the plan was how he's going to get Binyamin down there and to keep him. So the whole plan was already in his mind. I'm going to blame them, and I'm going to make them into thieves, and then I'm going to keep Binyamin. I think it's a lot of thought behind it, and somehow it doesn't seem to work out the whole way. I think what's bothered him was that he wanted to be Michael them, and because he saw he can't harm them. He doesn't feel angry at them in that sense, that he wants to hurt them. So he wants to be Michael. Let's make up. But what will make it that I'm being able to Michael them? They should only feel they did me an avla. They should ask me mechila, and then I can love them. So he's going to try and make that into a point, and we'll see as we go along that there's 3 times. He really cried 4 times. But for all practical, the first one, the one was that he cried with Binyamin. That's no kashi. That's just the fact that he saw Binyamin again. He cried, but 3 times he cried somehow, and we'll say that meant I want to time it that is because he hoped that they realized finally they did something wrong, but they don't realize what, and that was the tragedy of it. Okay. Anyway, all of a sudden he picks up this story with because what he's undertaking, if his plan was that in the end they can bring Ya'akov down and all that was his plan. So he's going to have to make up with his brothers. He's going to have to recognize these guys who he thinks are a bunch of gangsters or spies. He's going to have to recognize them as his brothers. Like, that's pretty crazy. I mean, you didn't recognize your brothers. You didn't recognize them. Saying, okay, maybe he was too young. He didn't recognize them. But somehow, you should have gotten into some idea of what you're talking about and the questions you asked and stuff. Okay, so I don't know. So he had to have a big plan that was a purpose in it. Okay. So first he told me he'd lock them all up and send one down, which may have been more effective in the sense, maybe as far as Yaakov was concerned. I lost all my kids, they're all in jail, they're all in the thing there, so I'll have to send them down, get them all back. I don't know, but anyway, but in the end, he says, so they left one, and he picks, obviously, Shimon, because he wants to break up the Shimon and Levi combine, and I guess he took the bigger one, because I think the ideas probably started with Shimon, with all the ideas, where he figured, you have the older and the younger, who gives who's telling who what to do. So when he did this is the first time he's going to cry. When he did this, so what happened? That we saw his Sarah and we didn't have pity on him. Now, they did this b'teiras din. They held he was chayv misa. That was what they killed him for, right? So they hold these chayv misa. So what do you mean you have pity on someone's chayv misa? Besdin will not have pity on a person. That's the sentence. Sentence is death. What he calls mashma that with brothers maybe there is such a din that there's a chiv on, or even if he not moichel's a guy. I mean, meaning I can't save you. Well, that doesn't mean I feel bad against you. Maybe I first have to make him feel better or whatever it is that before you kill him. I have no idea what both of them. Over there, Reuven says, I told you I'll tell you by Yelit. We don't find he said something like that. He always told him, don't kill him. He said, I'll tell you by Yelit. So mashma, that this was a conversation that existed before they even had, when they always were talking about what do we do about Yosef, what do we do about Yosef, they all said, we got to get rid of him, and he kept saying, don't do it, he's not Chayiv Misa, he's an innocent guy, he's not this thing done. Now, did Yosef know this? Now, I don't think so, originally, but definitely over here he knew it. He's standing there, he's overhearing the conversation. So he knows that Reuven was definitely not involved. So where do you have the Asor Yemalchus, compared to the thing there? It is definitely only 9 brothers that were guilty. So Reuven was not guilty at all. In reality, so if you want to say in his imagination before this, that was who put him in the hole? Reuven did. So therefore, you figure Reuven was ahead of the whole group, and he put me in the hole, and that's what counted, because he didn't know what's going on in the background and behind him. Okay, I can hear he made a mistake. But after this, he can't have made a mistake. He knows for sure that Reuven was not out to hurt him. And then thing over there. So I want to tell you that the Asor Gemalchus is 9 and Yosef, because he's the one that really caused it. No, did he really cause it? He caused it because of either being insensitive or not really thinking how it could. I can't answer that exactly what it is, but he's definitely part of the same machlekes. And Reuven and Beniman are out because they didn't want it in machlekes. So anyway, so Reuven said to them this. And there it says, "V'hem lo yodu dineu." So what did he do? Vayisam aleim vayeft, and he started to cry. Now, as they realized something was wrong. Now we're getting an einish, and we're getting an einish because of Yosef somehow, whatever it is. Not because, or they thought they didn't do anything else wrong in their lives except the mice with Yosef. So what was wrong with Yosef? Yosef, we held we also were right the first time. So we did something wrong. What was what we did wrong? So they think we did wrong because we didn't have Rachmanis on me, right? So they're so close to finding out that they did something wrong, and they still didn't get it. And that's what made them cry. In other words, I have to keep going on with this game. Okay. And he took for Shimon, and and then he put the money in, and then whatever it is. So this is something that, you got to be maybe a tzaddik in that sense to understand, or maybe we all have to be choishish that we don't deserve things. In other words, things that are for nothing, we don't deserve. The Mishnah does that a lot of times. In other words, if good things happen to somebody, he doesn't have, let's say for 30 days, he doesn't have any problems. So you're supposed to think that the Rebbeinu Shalom's out to get him. No, he paid him off in this world. He got everything he did because he lived 30 days without any problems, and all of a sudden, now the rest of it, you're finished. Okay, I guess if you think about it, we all have problems somewhere along 30 days. Every 30 days we have a problem. It's not a major problem, obviously, but it's a problem. It's a thing that it disturbed my feeling of security or whatever it is there. So, okay. Yeah.
He was trying to teach them that by putting the money in?
Huh?
He was trying to teach, well, Yosef was trying to teach them that by putting the money in their
Yes, so he wanted to return the money, could be. But what they said were very frightened because they found money in their pocket. Now, where do we have money? We don't deserve it. Now, we can't figure out why we don't. We'll think it's Mom Shabbos. God's paying us back for Shabbos. Okay, you had to pay somewhere. You have a cheshbon of where it is, so we never think about all the extra monies we get during the year. But there is. If there isn't, then God's not paying us back for Shabbos. So somehow we're just not realizing it every time to make that cheshbon. But obviously the cheshbon can be made. If it can't be made, then there's no, how are you going to prove it? So I'm saying, so the cheshbon can be made. I can make it. It may not be necessarily what we consider a return. It could be maybe even, let's say, where there's a 50% off sale, let's say. So that's 50% I'm getting back. I need the stuff. I'm going to buy it anyway, so I'm not saving 50%. Is I got 50% of the money back. Okay, so fine. Maybe that's money, but if I can make it that. But there's definitely a lot of free monies we get during the year. Gifts, for whatever it is that we can't logically have a reason why we got it, except that it's understandable. It's a tip, it's a this, it's a that, what he called. I didn't expect it, but I can give a reason for it. That would be Shabbos, paying back. So we do this. Here, they didn't have it. Could they have expected it? And they didn't seem to have expected it, even though he's, when they come down to the guy taking him to Menashe, he tells him, I got the money, this God's giving you maton. That made him really afraid. Like, if God's giving us the maton, it made all of a sudden money popping into our thing there. Something's wrong. I mean, who minted this money anyway? You got to understand. Okay. Now, they come back, and they got it to get Shimon out. And so they have this precious. So as soon as they come back, and this is the point of Reuven, was a pachas kamayim. In other words, on the other hand, you can hold it as a leader. But he always had an opinion. He always opened his mouth right away. And that's here right too. In other words, let us take him down, you kill my two sons. Okay. Now Rashi says a funny thing, what are your sons, not my sons? I mean, there's a typish. No, I don't think it means that. Or this is maybe what Rashi means. That if you're telling me you can kill my two sons, can you kill your own two sons? Are you the owner of your two sons that you can kill them? You have no right to kill them. So what do you mean you're going to kill them? Right? Oh, I mean, it's if I was going to kill them. In other words, I feel so bad about it. As if my kids' lives would be dependent on it. That's how well I'll take care of them, right? But my kids' lives are not dependent on it. And therefore, it's not the same thing. That's the point where it's not a guarantee. That's a simple thing. It's not a guarantee. The guarantee is if treat it as this. You can't treat it as that. It's not that. So therefore, you can't treat it that way. So he doesn't listen. Yehuda, I think, is basically a Talmud of Reuven. It makes sense that, meaning he did two things. This is the second thing he acted as a Talmud of Reuven. The first one was when he said, Mikeitz, Shinagis Achinu, that what is the point, let's sell him, is because he heard Reuven say that we don't kill him. He's the Rebbe, he's the oldest brother. The oldest brother was probably teaching the younger brother, so he's his Rebbe. So that much he knew. He didn't know that he wanted to save him, that he didn't hear from him. So therefore, let's sell him for Zanevet. So that way at least I got him away from killing him. And over here, he saw I've got to do something to guarantee Reuven that he'd take back. Reuven's not smart enough to pick the right thing. Obviously, he didn't know what to pick either, Yehuda. So he's waiting his time. And that's mainly the mile of a melech. A melech doesn't have to be the smartest person. I mean, in reality, the president doesn't have to be the smartest person. You're not voting for him as the smartest person. As who does he make the smartest people? The secretaries are the smartest people, or at least the president think are the smartest people that agree with him anyway. That and stuff there. Those are the smartest people because they're the ones who are actually going to run the country. But they're all under his hashpaya. He is the one that knows how to pick the right guy and the stuff like that. That's the point of the melech. And the thing over there, he's the best administrator you're going to get. So he bided his time. And he waited until Yaakov said, we need food, go down again. Now Yaakov is the one that started the conversation. We can't go down unless you give us the gift. Okay. That's the first thing. So he knew, Yaakov knows probably that he meant it, or whatever it is there. So that ain't going to happen. But he puts in his guarantee afterwards. He says, send the kid with us, and I'll guarantee to put him in front of you, and we'll all live, and no one's going to die, not us, not our kids, not you. I guarantee him, and you can seek him for me, I'll owe you forever. That's called a klala on Sichalein. I'm not going to go to Mabah. This is a point we know that a guy is Mikala himself, or not Mikala himself, Mikala somebody, or Mikala himself. It doesn't make a difference. So even if you Mekayim, the thing that is like you made it on a Tanai, it's still, the klala still comes on. You still get the klala. So therefore, never curse anybody, even on tonight, because that's a funny thing. So if they knew this, I'm assuming they did, being the others, they must have known that is the thing. So why do you take this as a guarantee? You know, the guy's going to hell anyway. I mean, what's the guarantee? So I'm saying, what Pshat is, that Yaakov said, I mean, I'm sure he felt bad that Yehuda did this, but the idea is, if Yehuda is giving up his Olam Haba, it ain't going to be for nothing. It's not impossible he's not bringing the kid back, because he's not going to give it up for nothing. So therefore, if he gives it back, he's made sure the kid's going to come back. So that's a guarantee. Okay, so therefore he gave him the stuff, and he gave him double money, and make a part, the gift. And the Grshon will send you, and this is the point that Misnabib and Yedei mention Misnabib, that you find a lot of times a person says something, they have no idea what they're saying. This is usually by people who will die, usually within the year, who are perfectly healthy, will say certain funny things that, but you don't recognize it until after the guy's dead. It's like something happened, and all of a sudden, because of that, you realize, oh, that's what the neshama knew. That's going back. Like you didn't know that the human being doesn't know, but the neshama knows. So here also you say that he knew that it says is achiv acher. The achers are necessary. That means that's Yosef. Okay. And he came back down. He sees him. Okay. All right, they come to eat there at night, and he tells them how to set up the food. He wants them to set it up into 3 groups. Hu levadei, heim levadam, v'mitzrim eichem itan levadam. But the mitzrim, he tells them a reason why. Why? V'mitzrim eichem itan levadam tikisei avas mitzrayim, to live with them, to eat with Jews. Because they eat meat, he don't eat meat, they don't eat meat. They considered, what you'd call them, animals, whatever Russian, they were barbarians that eat meat, whatever they did, Russian. So it's a bezoyan to them. So he teaches you how to live in Gullus. he himself ate meat, right? So that means he's showing the Mitzrayim that I'm different than you. So they don't associate with him. They don't don't socialize with him. That's what I mean, because we're different types of people. And therefore, we do business. We can accept you as the king as long as we can put you down. In other words, I think the English learned this quite well when they took over China. Like, how could a small group of people rule China? You know, that's such a big country. All of us, they let the Chinese call them round eyes, and like a Bizoyan, they're barbarians. They're not. What do you call it? So they felt superior. They felt superior. They're not necessarily interested in destroying you, because then they feel they're utilizing you. In other words, you're a public servant. They work for me. You're the king. Your job is to get you. Jews are smart. We go in for a doctor. We go in for a lawyer. You know, but we don't like them. But those guys, we need them. If they work for us, that's okay. So therefore, that they don't mind. So the same thing over here. You take me. He's teaching us how to live in Golos. You want to live in Golos? Let the Goyim feel superior to you. And that's the thing. And then they'll let you rise as high as you do. They think so. That's what he told him. Okay. And obviously, why did he keep himself different from them? Because he didn't want them to see that they should think he's with the Mitzrayim. So therefore, he had to have the third party. But he had to separate from them. Okay. And then he sets them up family-wise with the becher. He banged on the becher, whatever it is there. And again, he gives a binyamin 5 times. I mean, how they got the 5 times, the 5 minutes, this and that. The question is, what was the point of it? You know, but again, you know, the fact they're showing such favoritism to Binyamin, you know, we're not jealous. A bunch of kooks. I mean, I think he's a little kid. He's 30 years old. He's not a little kid. You know, I don't know, whatever it is. Okay. Okay. And then he tells them that they should. He tells the Alabayis, I want you to put my becher into the bag of the little guy. And they chase after him. Okay. So what do you call it? They can go chase him or whatever it is there. And immediately makes the accusation, you know, that you guys stole it. And they say to him, a kal v'chema. Rashi says, I think it says it. This is one of the 10 kal v'chemas in the Torah. You see? Yeah, echad miyasor kal v'chemas hamurim b'Torah. V'kulam menuyim b'Bereishis Rabbah. So the kash is, what are you trying to tell me with the kal v'chema? Kal v'chema means, if I did this, then that for sure I can do that, right? So that means it must be emes. That's what he's saying. So how come they didn't listen, the Mitzrayim? I mean, if you're telling me it's a kal v'chema, so the Mitzrayim should have understood, okay, they're all innocent. So why do you think that? He said, you're right. It's exactly what they said. They're all innocent. But 2 people were not. Who don't have the kal v'chema? Shimon and Binyamin. So they have the older one and the younger one. That's all it says. So now if you look at the Torah literally, it says, so they be in the kal v'chema. So then when they started the search, I'll talk about that in a second. Vayichapish ba'godol heichel. They started with the big one. Uba'kot and kilo. Doesn't say it was more than those 2. So it was those 2. That they and because the other 10 they were innocent. Okay. Now Now they told him, what did he say? I want to take that guy for Nevid. And they say to him, no, that kid, the one you find it by, kill. And the rest of us are all guilty. You can all be avodim. And he answers them, what you're telling me, that's the way the din is. All right? Reading Rashi says like that. This is also min adin. Echad emes kedivreichem kenu shekulchem chayovim bedover asora shenimtzois geneva biyad echad mehem, all of you are guilty. What kind of story is that? I mean, there's no country in the world that condemns everybody because one guy and a friend of a bunch of group guys, or one guy's a crook, that everybody's now guilty because of that. So he says, what you said is right, because the fact that you consider this guy a member of your group means that you're not mevuzah from him. The thing there, would you do this with Machal Shabbos? Would you do this with someone of a Noyef? Would you do with this? Those guys you won't. But with a gun, if you do go to Tish, so that means you don't consider Geneva a bad thing. So therefore you're guilty. Now with the fact that he hangs around with you, they hang out with you, his pshat is that they feel that you don't condemn him. And therefore, since you don't condemn him, so then obviously you're Chaim Misa for causing it. Because the fact that if you would condemn it, then they wouldn't be like that. That's the point. So that's Kedivrechem Kenu. Yeah, I'll tell you. Yeah, so they all took it down. So all of a sudden they ripped their clothes, and Yehuda pops up. Now obviously Yehuda pops up because, like he's going to explain next week, is that the pshat is, I guaranteed him. So therefore I'm very involved over here. But what does he say to him? It's seemingly that we don't all come back, because he said we'll all be avodim, all of us together, right? So that means no one's coming home. How do you get the food? How are you going to get the extra food that they're supposed to do? Send down there to buy. Well, I don't know. But somehow that wasn't the problem. Ya'akov is not dying from hunger. That's not the issue. He's going to be able to live. To think there, what about our kids, to take care of them? Now, I said, what was my guarantee? That when I come back, I'm putting in front of you. Right? If I'm not coming back, so there's no kasha. So none of us come back. Somehow, whatever it is, the baby shall work it out. Now, how did he know? He gives him a speech. How'd you do this? What can we say? We can't justify God, Father, or Avecha. So that means that he really believes Binyamin did not steal it. Otherwise, he'd say, what do you mean he found Avecha? Binyamin's a big gangster, a kid, he doesn't know any better, or whatever it is there. Because they knew Binyamin was not a chayte. Binyamin is one of the few people that didn't do any averos ever. So if Binyamin is such a person, that means they knew Binyamin. So you can't tell me Binyamin stole. That you tell me. Maybe you'll tell me something about Shabbos. Maybe. If I wouldn't believe that either. But stealing, it's impossible. So therefore, if he's the one that has it, then there's something wrong. Then it has nothing to do with the truth. There's something wrong. Now, who put it there? They didn't want chayshit. I don't know if maybe they were chayshitim. I don't know, because I was willing to go to war. What are you getting to war for? Maybe I'm willing to go to war. Simply, you guys want to attack us, so we'll defend ourselves. Right? Like, we're innocent. We know we're innocent. It doesn't look innocent. I don't know what to do. I can't answer the question. Okay, so that was the point, and that was the way, and that ends the Parshas that he say. Yeah. So that was the thing there. Okay. Anyway, this is as I say, The why comes out always in Chanuka, even though Mikeitz, I really don't know. Mikeitz, in fact, I had one of my grandchildren was bar mitzvah on a Mikeitz that was not Shabbos Chanuka. That was so rare that, you know, the thing that the Mikeitz is always Shabbos Chanuka. I'm saying, what does it have to do with Chanuka? That's, I have no idea yet. Okay, perhaps there must be something, that's for sure. You have a good Shabbos, Afreich and Chanuka. Enjoy your guests. I'm sure everybody has guests for Shabbos. What's Master?
How are you? One second.